before we get into our interview, what we will do is, well, I have to give away something. I just got to give something away. So what we're going to do every Thursday when we have our free live webinar to the world, we're going to give something away. So I actually have a randomizer. Oh, Nelson's in there. I hear Nelson. So go ahead and mute yourself real quick while I finish this up, and then I'll bring you on in a second. All right, bud?
Okay.
So what I have is a randomizer. So I put our council members in there, and our members are in there, and I have we have a new email. So if you actually go to our classes as a member, we have a homework assignment that happens in pretty much all of them. I happen to not have a homework assignment today in mine, but I'd say almost every single one has got a homework assignment. And what you do is we set up an email that says, I'm gonna win at 360success.com. And so the best part of that is you send that in, and you also get another number into the randomizer for earning something. So today, what I wanted to do, we're so in our infancy right now that it's not the biggest prize in the world, but hey, it's a prize. We're giving something away. And we are going to, I got messages of probably Celia's trying to go, okay, we're good. We're running here. Everybody's happy. All right, well, I'm giving something away right now. Everybody quiet, I'm giving something away. I'm Crazy Rob. We are going to give away a Starbucks card. What will happen as we grow and we become a bigger, larger company, we're going to give away huge prizes.
You don't have it.
And Nelson, I've looked in South Africa even for prizes, so I have an adjustment to make sure I can do that. I mean, I want to take us to the opportunity to give away cars. I want to give away cruises. I want to give away amazing things. And so right now we're starting with the Starbucks card. So I'm going to hit the randomizer, totally random, and right now, and we're going to find out who wins. So, and it just picks a number. So we're waiting, and okay, 17. So now I go over to the file, and today's winner is Biljana. Biljana, you won our first prize, our Starbucks card, and I think she's on the line right now. I believe, yeah, she is. Fantastic. So our first winner, Biljana, you won the first prize with 360 Success Academy. So congratulations, and we will get that. It's usually an e-card that we'll send out to you, and we'll get that out to you right away. So very, very exciting that we actually gave something away. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to bring on Nelson, who's in South Africa, coming all the way from South Africa. And Nelson is absolutely incredible. I remember starting to work with him last year, and he came on where I was working with Eric Lofholm, and he wanted to become a coach. He wanted to develop himself and market himself and brand himself, and he just wants to absorb and soak in and learn everything he can so that he can really, truly help people. He really cares about people. And I know, I'll even pull it up on my webpage, on my Facebook right now, is he was recognized just yesterday. I believe it's in his local paper, but it was for Hirsch Hillcrest. He went in, and he's the network, business networking speaker for the group. And Nelson can add to that too, but it's for the Durban Chamber of Commerce. And what Nelson is doing right now, just locally, but in South Africa, is incredible. He's really trying to change his country and really include them in the international world. And so we're totally blessed to have Nelson come here, because not only does Nelson really care about his town and his people and his country, but he cares about the world. And so he's reached out internationally now, and he's becoming an international expert. So he teaches sales, he teaches motivational. We're going to be working on him teaching classes for us really soon. So he's going to be a part of our program as well here at 360. So he's an international trainer. And so to not go too long into it and the soapbox of Nelson Reddy, but we are so excited to have you here, Nelson, with 360 Success Academy. And so say hi to everybody, Nelson.
Hi, Rob. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great.
Great. Thank you. Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing?
Everybody's doing great. Everybody's going to be muted, so they're all listening in. And we also are going to have this as a recording, so we're going to be sharing this interview continuously free out on our Facebook page and our websites and everything like that. So Nelson, we're kind of doing this off the cuff today. And I kind of wanted to start with I want you to tell me how you actually got started. How did you find what you were looking for? I mean, we've talked in our coaching about how you have had, I think it was Brian Tracy even came to town, and it wasn't really the biggest deal. It kind of flopped in South Africa, but you know, I mean, I think it worked at the same time. But you have been searching some of the experts that have come around and trying to work with people and train people, but you caught fire when you came into our world, and then you really started to take a lot of our great coaching and advice. But beyond that, you created the action. So how did you actually find us? How did you find Celia and myself and even Eric?
Okay, thank you, Rob. I think what had happened was Eric put out an ad to everybody in the world, and he said that he's offering a $50 Starbucks card for every introduction that he gets from us. I then took that further, and I saw another opportunity, not the $50 Starbucks, and I wrote back to Eric, and I said to him, Eric, I have a proposal for you. I've got something much bigger than the $50. Are you prepared to listen? Eric then sent that request through to you, Rob, at that stage, and you had made contact with me. And you and I discussed this at that time. And what I said to you is, I'm not really interested in the $50 Starbucks. I think I can do a lot more than that. And at that stage, I was going to become, my proposal for you was to become an agent of ELI at that time. So I would start working with people here in South Africa and abroad if I could, and then become an agent for you. You then set up a meeting with Eric. Eric chatted to me, and he convinced me to become a trainer. Now, I want to go back a little bit, and since I was about 20 years old, I loved the training world. And unfortunately, I didn't really join that. I was always a manager. But amazingly, one of the ways that I got my results is that I used training as the #1 key factor. So I remember a very quick story I'm going to tell you is I was an admin manager of a supermarket, and this supermarket was losing a lot of money on the tills. And when I got in there, I just took a solid month, and I just observed. That's it, did nothing else. And then I realized it was nobody that was stealing the money, but it was a lack of training. I went out and trained all 300 people. Took me over a month to do that. And then suddenly I had the best till shortages in the country. So that took me to the point that training is the basis of everything. And I took a liking to the training field from that time, but still stuck into management. Up until about 5 years ago, I started to get very interested in training. And then I followed the guys like Brian Tracy, Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, and so forth. But especially over the last 3 years, I got very, very interested, and I thought that I could bring my passion back. Instead of being a manager now, is to be a trainer. And I felt that I could change many, many lives by training people rather than being a manager. And my vision at that time was to change lives, but I had no idea how to do it. And I realized being a manager, I was not going to be changing lives, that many lives, very few, but not as many as I would have liked to. Then I saw the opportunity with Eric to become a trainer, and I decided to take that. And then I put out a very, very, very strong intention. And this is a crazy intention, but I love it. And here is the intention. I want to change 10,000 lives by the end of December 2016. Now, I put this intention out last year, and I said it must be by 2015. To be honest with you, I was nowhere near. This year, I saw the momentum going. It's going to be tough to reach that figure, but I'm still sticking to my guns with that figure. And I just feel that I have so much of expertise that I've attained over the years, and now is the chance that I could give back to the people. I also started a community project where I am giving off free sessions to the underprivileged and especially the kids in my community, and I feel that's a nice way to get started. But the upside of that, and I didn't do it for this reason, is that I started to brand myself. Just to give you a quick idea, I have 17,036 contacts on LinkedIn. It's amazing that every single time I put one of my networking session on LinkedIn, I get about 1,000 to 1,500 hits, and it's amazing how many of those hits are overseas. So I'm starting to brand myself in that way. And then yesterday, another opportunity came in. Our local chamber, we call it the Durban Chamber of Commerce, they've asked me to be the program director for one of their networking sessions. And I managed to successfully do that. The organizer was extremely, extremely happy. And I think my success lies in me being a people's person. I love people. I love communicating with people. And to give you a situation, I was doing a corporate talk to about 55 people. And my first 15 minutes was hell, because nobody smiled, nobody said anything, everybody just looked blank at me. Unfortunately, the person that's supposed to organize the coffee before the meeting came late, and the people did not have the coffee. And I eventually said, I really need to go now because I'm in the wrong room. Nobody's talking to me. That was the icebreaker, and suddenly we had to change. And then I took the opportunity of speaking to them to say, I cannot believe that a cup of coffee can change your mood in the way it has now. And I think the fact that I made them aware of that suddenly changed the mood. And then from there, it was positive, 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 positive. And when I finished the talk in an hour, I had an absolutely standing ovation, and that was a shocker for me. So, Rob, as you said, yes, I have a passion to train people. I have a passion to change people's lives. I'm doing that very effectively here. I'm also learning that I can't change everybody's life. Some people just don't want to change. But those people who want to change, I'm doing that. I'm doing quite a number of free coaching sessions, and people are loving it. Unfortunately, in South Africa, people are not exposed to coaching. So coaching to them is something totally new. And by helping them, I will get them to understand what coaching is about. And yes, at a later stage, with certain people, I'll start charging a coaching fee. So, Rob, I don't know if that's enough.
Yeah, that's fantastic. The Nelson, one of the things that you talked about by being a part of our, or just what you did is that you decided to be a trainer and a coach, is you were able to do something that a lot of people don't, is create action, to make actually something happen. You went out and did it. That's number one rule in my world is, I have 1,000 ideas a day. In fact, I all night, I go to bed, I have a recorder next to my bed, and I have ideas, and I put them on the recorder. and there's probably 1,000 bad ideas that happen every day. But at the same time, when you grab onto that idea and you want to go for it, you actually went out and did it. And I have a lot of people that have come to me and said, hey, I've thought about what you're doing, and I can do what you're doing. And I go, yeah, but you didn't. You didn't do it. And so, Nelson, you actually went out and did it. You're doing it. And that's one of the big things about 360 is you don't even realize that the way that 360 Success Academy was set up was inspired by you, believe it or not. We've had many talks over the past, I'd say, it's less than a year we've known each other. And your passion, but your drive to help people at any cost was what really drove me to develop this program at the way I did. So when I started the process of creating 360, we were talking before about people just can't afford the programs that they really need, and they can't see the value in even $150. It's like they just can't do it. It's too hard for them to reach in their pocket and do even $150, and even the payment plans at like $50, $25. It's really hard. So one of the biggest things that we did is we started doing numbers, and we started looking at some of the things out there like Netflix and their costs and the rule of large numbers. And so we had to make this completely affordable for the world. And at the same time, we were really developing a lot of, I have to make sure that I can help support Nelson in South Africa. That's where we really built this company off the backbone of building off of South Africa. So I wanted to give you the credit and honor and being our first interview, but also the fact that you were so instrumental into why we are right now as we are. So thank you very much for that, Nelson. A quick question for you is when you have the passion, you have the drive, and some people don't and stuff. Can you give me your number one rule about doing it, making it happen, creating action in your life? Can you inspire us by some of the thoughts you think, especially in a country that doesn't get coaching? They don't understand the process or how the value is. What's your number one thing that you could share with the world about how you can actually create action in your life and do what you're doing is changing and shifting a whole mindset of a country?
Rob, I think one of the biggest problems that people tend to have is that we work within boundaries. So if you look at South Africa, we're not exposed to the modern society at the way you guys are exposed. And I think one of the things I decided to do is to go outside my boundaries. And I realized that I looked for coaches here in South Africa, and I did find a few coaches, but somehow I wasn't very happy with them. And then I decided to go outside the country, and it's amazing. Internet allows you to do that. The world is open to everybody. So I think we're all on the same platform now with the intervention of internet. So I think a lot of us work within our boundaries. We are terrified to do well. That's what I really believe. I believe that when you excel like I'm excelling now, people are scared and they're not sure how to accept success. I've decided that I work a lot with intentions. That's a very, very big word in my vocabulary. And I made it intentions to be the best. To be the best trainer in South Africa, no matter what. And what I did was I started soaking up information. I attended every webinar that I possibly can. Just as a matter of interest, last month, that's the month of May, I did 86 hours of extra training. So if you take all the webinars, you take all the live training, you take all training sessions, you put them together, I did 86 hours last month.
That's amazing. They talk about Yeah, go ahead. All right.
Sorry,
Well, I was going to interject that, when you talk about 86 hours, that's a lot of hours. And when you start totaling that up, they talk about, I forget the number, but I think it's 10,000 hours in one subject makes you an expert. But you can, throughout your life, some people don't actually total the hours total, but you're probably going into the mass amount of hours that you've worked through your life and getting to that expert level, if not having surpassed that. So incredible that you're always adding to yourself. But I think what you said, which was really important, was intention, because it has to start somewhere, and you can't create action without intention. So I think you nailed it there, and the fact that you threw out the intention that this is what you were going to do, but then you had to add the action to it. So that's a big, big step to say that I totally forgot about, right? Because I'm so focused, action, 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 do. But what is your intent? What is it you really want? And the truth is that, you know, people call it what is my why or whatever it is. I think intention is a better word, because this is what I'm going to do, and I totally believe in that. And that's what you did, Nelson. You totally believed, and you created your intention, but you acted upon your intention and you did something. Too many people don't. And that's where I think you nailed it. You nailed it. Now, in all of that, what can you give us what your biggest win is? Like, you've coached somebody and somebody's done what? Can you tell us a story about somebody who's just crushed it that you didn't even maybe even expect it? Can you give us a little bit about what somebody that you've worked with that has really changed their life?
Okay, no problem. I'm going to come straight back home. And I think, my partner, Renisha, has been with me from the time I started this program, and she's been supported me all the way. And I remember my interview with you and Eric. She was listening in the background. Now, I don't know if you remember, Rob, right at the beginning, Renisha was not heard of. Nobody knew who she was. I was on the limelight and I was coming up, and she just stood at the back. And somehow I felt that this woman has so much potential, it's unbelievable. So I decided to tap into that potential, and I made a very brave move. Now, normally I wouldn't suggest this to normal people, but I did it. They say you should never coach your spouse, but I decided that I was going to coach her. And I decided that she's going to listen to every webinar that I listen to, except the ones that's 1 o'clock in the morning and 2 o'clock in the morning. That was difficult. But other than that, she listens to every webinar. She reads the same books I do. In the car, we've turned our car into a university. People dread to come into our cars because all we do is we have motivational stuff running in as soon as we walk into the car till we leave. I spend an hour when I go and drop Renisha off at work. I spend 1 hour of listening to motivational talks. Together, Renisha also listens at the same time. So coming back to Renisha, I think with my coaching and guiding, this woman has grown phenomenally, and I'll never forget you had opened up the training program for her. You came back and said, "No, we got to get Renisha involved in this," and that kind of shocked me. And then suddenly everything came out. I mean, now I have a new Renisha that I never knew about. So this has been phenomenal. I did not expect this, to be honest with you, even though that was my intention. I didn't realize it will work with close to me. And the fact that I keep listening to webinars all the time, it's become a family rule. We don't watch TV. Actually, we do watch TV, but we have the webinar playing on the TV. So we very seldom watch TV. And I think our neighbors are starting to listen to all these webinars. And I think they're going to be joining us one of the days, because the comment the other day was, "What is this thing you're listening to like 2 o'clock in the morning?" I think one of Eric's program ran up till about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. So I think to answer your question, Renisha was the person that I managed to mold, and I'm forever coaching her. It's tough because sometimes she doesn't want to take coaching, but I think she realizes it's good for her, and she's blossomed like she cannot believe, even at her own work.
I'm going to just say that I've been absolutely blessed to start to get to know Renisha. And she has so much to say that she needs to step out front. And I know that's a big step, to be able to step out in front. And I mean, you get on camera. I'm talking on a camera in my home right now, but I know that the message is going to start reaching a lot of people. And she has a lot to offer, just like you have offered. And I'm looking for her to step out front soon. So I know we only have 2 minutes left, so we're going to have to tie this up. But I just wanted to thank you, Nelson. You've really become a friend. We have so much that we're going to do together, just even in the next few months, in changing so many people's lives, getting people to focus, add an intention to their life. I completely missed that, and I need to add that to what we offer here. And we're going to help you go onto a very large international platform here. So I'm just blessed to have you here with us. This is my win today. I mean, I can honestly say that to have you come on and be a part of what we're doing is just, it fills my bucket. It helps me grow, because I learn from you and you don't even realize it. You know, I coach you in things, but then I watch what you do and the things that you do, and I learn so much from you. So I want to thank you.
Thank you, Rob, and thank you very, very much for giving me the opportunity. Renisha says you've done a great job. Yes, thank you very much. And I also feel that you've done a fantastic job. I didn't know how we seem to motivate each other, but Rob, thank you very much. I look very much forward, Renisha and I both look forward to working with you and Celia.
Fantastic, thank you. So to finish up our webinar right now, you know what? This is a great opportunity to become a member. So we are only $10 a month, and we are adding coaches, we're adding members, we're basically going with the same idea. I want to not only give you what is, Celia and I both agree. I sadly have to speak for both of us because Celia is not on the presenter line, but I will speak for her at this point. But our real biggest intention is that we don't just want a program here and a program here and a program here. You know, $1,000 here, $3,000 here, $500 here for these programs that we already have access to and have been kind of rehashed through all the experts over and over again. We want to give you these things in smaller chunks so you can take them and put them into your actions and into what your intention is. I'm so excited. I love that word. And so that's the core of what we are. But we had to make it affordable. We have to pay for things. So we do have those costs. So we made it $10, which made it really affordable per month. But at the same time, we're giving back 50% of everything we come in. So we're giving back. We have commissionable opportunities where you can be an affiliate and bring in other members. You get paid every single month. And obviously, if you watch from the beginning of the webinar, we're giving things away. Yeah, it just started at a Starbucks, but it's a Starbucks card. We gave away a Starbucks card today. And we want to give away not only just one person, we want to start giving out to, you know, hundreds of people, thousands of people, and bigger prizes. And that's the core, is not only you're going to learn, you're going to get your intention, you're going to add the action to the attention, you're going to finish those things, but we're going to make it the most fun company in the world. So thank you for being here. Don't forget to look at the newsletters, register for the webinars. We have Influence will be back on Monday, which will be June, what is that, 5th or 6th. And with Celia, the next day she'll be doing transformation. And we will also, so members, be excited for that. If you're not a member, get in, register, and you can go to our Facebook page, which is 360 Success Academy. And you can find all the links on how to join and everything like that. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Nelson. Thank you, Celia. Thank you, everybody who came. And just have an amazing, amazing day.